Welcome back to the studio. This is episode 2 of Coffee Diaries, and yeah, great to have you back here with us. It's been kind of a crazy last week. Lots of exciting stuff going on. We just had our anniversary party this past weekend, celebrating 3 years of Top Hat in Philadelphia, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, it was really great. We had a whole event with tons of pastry vendors who all came, and we actually got our coffee to each vendor. And so they all baked something with Top Hat coffee inside it, which was really sick. And yeah, we had a ton of people out the whole day. A lot of our regulars and stuff and students. And it was really great to walk around and talk with them. And yeah, as much as I love being behind the counter, making drinks and stuff, it is cool to connect with the people who've been coming for so long, and just to hear people say oh, I remember when you guys first opened, and how excited I was to have good coffee near me. And yeah, and even one person I was talking to, came to Top Hat their freshman year and has been coming and now they're about to graduate, which is just, yeah, so wild to me. So feeling very grateful for just the opportunity. I think the first year, and I've said this before, but I think the first year for us was about surviving. And then the second year was about creating systems so that we could scale. And now I think this year is about building the brand and building the community. And so, I feel very grateful to have what we have, to have a built-in community like this. And so, yeah, it was a really great day. Yeah, I think it would be great at a later point to show you a little bit of behind the scenes on how you do these events. To be honest, I don't have a ton of experience, but for me, it was definitely a challenge. A lot goes into something like that, but yeah, I just wanted to take a moment and just be grateful that, while the work is so demanding, it can be so tough, and it can take a lot of your free time, and it can wreck a lot of your plans. There's also moments where it pays off. And Tim was saying it's important to be present in the payoff. It's important to look around and be wow, this is a real thing. I've contributed a real service and a real place for people to come and connect. And so for me, it's just the best. So having the hustle hangover this week, where you just put so much effort out, the next 2 days, you just want to veg and hide. But yeah, we got some clips from that. And so I want to show you a little bit about what that day looked like, give you a peek at the energy and all the pastries and all that stuff. So take a look and enjoy. Okay, so these are my 5 tips on how to plan a big pop-up party or some kind of event like anniversary or something like that. This can be as small as you want or as big as you want. I think that's important to know up front is you don't have to sink all your money and time into it. It can be something light that you do. Or you can go all out and you can go way bigger than we did, So these are 5 tips. And then, yeah, something I wish I would have done differently at the end. So tip 1 is plan early. We thought about this event, created the event in early February, and then had it in the beginning of April. I found that at least 6 weeks out from the date to promote was really important. And so to secure those promotional avenues and to secure vendors and put it on people's calendar starting in February for us really helped. We even scheduled out what we would work on leading up to the event, which was really helpful because you just get to work on a Monday and you get a calendar pop up that's just like, reach out to vendors or finalize the graphic or, and also we ordered merch. So again, the lead time on that can be anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks or even longer, depending on how complicated you're going. So plan early, get everybody on board as early as possible, get gears moving as early as possible. We also had vendors who said yes originally and eventually canceled, and we had to refresh and get some new vendors. So yeah, I don't know if it's because we planned too early that they just ended up not being able to commit. But it did give us time to get new vendors and get all the promotional stuff out in the right time. Number 2 is details for everyone. And so I tried to think about this, who needs what, when. So for me, it was okay, if I'm a vendor, I want to know what's the load-in situation like, what's the arrival time set up. And I tried to think about that from the perspective of everybody. So from vendors, I gave them all they needed. Graphic designer, everything they needed. Staff, everything they would need. And there's kind of 2 frames of details. What do I need to know before the event? And then what do I need to know on the event? So I gave that package, delivered a few times in different ways to vendors, to staff, to anybody who needed it. So definitely think about that. What are the details for everybody? And maybe think through the lens of, if you were working or if you were a vendor, what would you want to know? The less questions you can have, the better everybody feels and the better you'll feel on the day of. Number 3, I kind of learned this on the go, is that regional promotion works really well, especially in the city. People are looking for things to do. They're looking for places to go eat new foods. And so for us, we decided to spend some money on regional promotion. So that's, we sponsored a couple Instagram posts regionally to our age group, our demographic that we know from our POS. And that did really well. We put $200 into it. And, we saw it had hundreds of saves, hundreds of shares, hundreds of comments, stuff like that. So, and then also making collaborative posts with your vendors is a huge help because you get their audience involved, and it just creates sort of that critical mass where people see it and they're like, oh, I bet a lot of people are going to go to this. I think that aspect helps a lot. And then also, we have a few influencers in our community who are just the best people, and to work with those people is really great because they're not just trying to get something from you. They really care about you and you care about them and they're a part of your community. So that helped us really well. So regional promotion, it works well. I highly recommend, if you can make it happen, to put a couple $100 aside a month to try a few things and have some voices in your ear of people in the industry who can help you along. Number 4, layers of engagement. So on the day of, we try to think about what are the kinds of people coming through our door. There's people who are there just for pastry. There's people who are there because they love coffee. There's people who are there because they just love events. We have people there for vintage clothes. Create different levels of engagement for different kinds of people. So for us, that was vendor selection, picking people to do vendors who have different kinds of audiences. And then it was also on offerings for the day, right? So for us, we did a limited run tote bag. That was really fun. We baked this signature chocolate chip cookie, which is incredible. It's half browned butter, half not, ground espresso in it, a little cinnamon, different types of chocolate, sea salt. They were incredible. And we made them only available for the weekend. People went nuts over them. It was a really good time. And then we also roasted a ton of coffee and had almost every coffee we have on the retail shelf, and tried to basically cross collaborate there. So having different ways people can walk away with something is really important. And also offering exclusive discounts. Okay, if you buy a tote bag today, you're getting a free plain waffle. Stuff like that, where it's multiple people can engage multiple different ways. And then you'll have maximalists in your life who will come in and they'll do it all, And so it's really important to do that stuff. All right, and the last one, number 5, is to just document everything. For us, it was important to have a photographer there and a videographer there. Did it cost us a couple $100? Sure. You might have people in your life who do it for coffee or do it for food or do a mix bag or something, but This kind of material goes and lives for a very long time. So if you, documenting on your phone to make a reel after, or make a couple of reels or something like this, it works super well. But also I think it's worth it you don't have moments where you can capture video of you engaging with your guests engaging with you, people walking around, feeling comfortable, having fun, lingering in the shop. So for us to capture that in a really professional way, we're going to use that for the website. We'll use that for future promotional events. We'll use that for, you name it. There's so many different things you can use. So definitely document everything. If I could do it over again, I think I would have paid the videographer for like 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and like had them follow me around with a mic and like done kind of like this like documentary style thing. That would have been really fun, and I think that was maybe a missed opportunity. I think also like having a documentary like booth, like doing that kind of man on the street with a microphone, asking people questions about Top Hat, their go-to order, the first time they came, or how long they've been coming, like all that stuff is gold, and it's one of those opportunities for you to capture a lot of really valuable stuff. It's also important that you have all of your details for the day sorted, as much delegated as possible, so that you can have the capacity to think like that on the day. And I think next time, that's what I would do. And then the last thing that I would maybe do differently, I already forget. Hold on. Oh, that's what it was. Got it. All right, and the last bonus little thing of what would I have done differently, I would wrap it up and say these few things I would have done differently. I mentioned this in the document section, but I would have interviewed customers and created like some prompts to get some stories. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are missing, is some of the stories behind your brand. Those help immensely in educating you and others. I also would have decorated more, which sounds weird. I don't know if I really could have had the capacity to do it, but I think it would have been really fun to have like balloons and more custom signage and stuff like that. Wasn't in the budget. I'm happy the way we did it, but if I could do it again and have more to play with, I would have put someone over decorations and just made it really feel like a birthday or an event. You know what I'm saying? But those are the 5 things plus a bonus. I hope that's helpful. Let me know if there's anything that you would add to the list if you've done an event like this and had success. I'd be super interested to hear about how do you get major sponsors for events. We've had some very niche sponsors in the past for things, but man, it would be so cool to get a major sponsor for an event like that, because that creates a whole new level of draw and reach. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed just seeing a little bit behind the scenes of our event, and I'll see you next time.